It's actually happening, folks. We've had multiple reports drop from NBA insiders revealing a Kevin Durant trade is imminent heading into this year's trade deadline. And of course, the Golden State Warriors have been the most aggressive in their pursuit to land KD, or the favorites. There are some other teams that now have interest in Kevin Durant, but we'll break down why those are very unrealistic competitors for the Golden State Warriors to land KD. And frankly, things are just turned absolutely upside down over the past couple days. So we'll break down all of the latest reports, the new indications that KD trade is imminent from the Phoenix Suns, and why the Golden State Warriors are the heavy favorites to land this man. So lots of stuff to break down in this video. But folks, I want to thank everyone for getting us to 8,000 subscribers. Appreciate every single one of you tuning in to all of the videos. And folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, hit that sub button. We got so much content coming your way as the Golden State Warriors are inserting themselves in one of the biggest blockbuster trade deadlines in NBA history. So lots of stuff to break down, but without further ado, let's jump straight into it because things are going crazy right now. Brian Windhorst came out and revealed this morning that the Suns are seriously entertaining Kevin Durant trade offers, and Devin Booker is the only player guaranteed to remain out there on the team. So given all the smoke, and we had multiple, probably tens, if not 20 reports yesterday dropping on regards to the Kevin Durant scenarios, all escalating, all chatter, the front office kind of leaking a bunch of stuff, revealing that a KD trade is more and more likely. And now you have a report coming from Brian Windhorst, who of course is one of the biggest insiders in the NBA, especially with Adrian Wojnarowski gone. It's really Shams and Windhorst, the two guys you can really trust out there with these different reports. So now that it's coming from him, this means that this deal is imminent. It's looking very likely heading into this year's trade deadline. And of course, the Golden State Warriors are the team that is most likely to get involved in this trade package. So let's take a look. So Jake Fisher said that one reason for the significant uptick in Durant chatter, sources said, is that trading him appears to be the only way Phoenix can acquire Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler before Thursday's deadline. Why would the Suns want Butler if they no longer have Durant on the roster? No one asked by the Steinline has been able to furnish a good answer to that question, but rumbles persist at the scenario that transports Butler from South Beach to the desert, with Kevin Durant moving back to the Bay Area, is indeed in play. So this is pretty shocking. This is a very shocking framework in terms of a package, in terms of stuff that we're seeing regarding Kevin Durant. Now, this was kind of a rumor at the end of last night, broke it down at the end of my last video, but basically now this seems like the framework in terms of the Suns trying to make a shakeup to the roster. I'd imagine they'd be acquiring extra assets, extra pieces in order to make this move happen and bolster their kind of stockpile of draft assets, or whether it's draft assets or young players to kind of add to the mix of Devin Booker and I guess a Jimmy Butler out there, and then getting off of Kevin Durant, who is a little bit older here now at this point. So that is a pretty shocking framework for one of these deals. That's one of the new updates. And then also we had this come from John Gabadoro, who is an insider for the Phoenix Suns, and essentially says that KD to Golden State has taken on a life of its own over the last 24 hours. Look, I do not know for sure, so I'm not reporting, but I did talk to several teams today that heard the same thing. One told me he will most likely end up in Golden State with Butler to Phoenix. We'll keep digging. So this is what the direction, all signs point to this here now at this point, is a big blockbuster trade that encompasses the Miami Heat, encompasses this is where the NBA trade report thing, if I still have that graphic up, I'm not sure I do not, but basically we saw the other day one of these NBA aggregated trade reports say that there was a big blockbuster deal being talked about between the Phoenix Suns, between the Miami Heat, between the Golden State Warriors and the Philadelphia 76ers, with multiple all-star players bouncing around. So that's the framework, that's the discussions in terms of what these deals were, putting all the puzzle pieces together, because again, the Phoenix Suns are an organization that loves to leak information, loves to have information actually end up coming out, or maybe they don't love it, but it does end up coming out for them in regards to trade chatter, trade discussions, and this looks like the proper avenue. Now, we've heard a lot of stuff in regards to what the Phoenix Suns are interested in these different deals, but we have a bunch more reports. So again, Chris Mannix also added fuel to this fire, coming out and saying that there's increasing beliefs that the Suns could move off of Kevin Durant if they aren't able to find a trade for Jimmy Butler. So it looks like now that's going to be the case. Yesterday, I'm just kind of reacting to all the stuff we saw yesterday. They pulled Kevin Durant from the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight, so his trade as stuff is popping up there. And the Suns have a level of interest in Jonathan Kuminga. So this, as well as the recent reports about the Phoenix Suns being intrigued by Draymond Green as well, given the fact that Draymond Green has a deep relationship with the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Matt Ishbia, as they go back to their Michigan days. There's a package. There's something to be had. There's something to be put together in one of these deals. Now, of course, if Jimmy Butler's going to the Phoenix Suns, then there's less sort of money that the Golden State Warriors have to attach in one of these packages, but Jonathan Kuminga could be a piece that is thrown out there in these different discussions as a fuel to the fire, like add some incentive in terms of a deal, happening with these pieces going back to the Phoenix Suns, given the fact, he has a big contract extension, all that stuff impending, all of those types of things. But of course, with the Phoenix Suns, given all the reports, this 3-team deal or 4-team deal, if someone else gets involved, does seem to be the most likely framework. But I'm sure if Kevin Durant's available, the Suns are going to play all their options, see what they can get across the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks were a team that's rumored, but literally minutes ago, they just traded for Kyle Kuzma. I don't imagine that, Kevin Durant is going to be going there now at this point, but we do have one other team that we can look at as a potential trade destination, as the Athletic reports that while the likelihood of Dallas pulling off now appears unlikely, the mere idea of Kevin Durant joining Dallas' star-studded group sheds a new light of thinking on Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison after he was roundly ridiculed for the Doncic deal. So very vague language, very interesting sort of how that quote is structured there from the Athletic, but the Mavericks are a team that is being brought up as a potential destination for Kevin Durant. Our Mavericks guy, Marcel Martin, definitely check out Mavericks Digest. You want all the latest on that Luka nonsense, that trade that Nico Harrison made. It is very, very nearly impossible to make a deal make sense with the Dallas Mavericks unless you are a cap negotiator. You're able to put together some crazy 4-team deal that is just, going to drum up out of thin air. So I'm not too worried about the Mavericks, just given the fact I don't think there's a deal that really makes sense, but we'll see if the Mavericks actually become a contender. The other team that has been in rumors and rumblings about Kevin Durant is the Houston Rockets, who are a team that, of course, does have a bunch of draft capital, does have a bunch of, players and stuff, but they're more intrigued by Devin Booker to give all those assets up, in one of these blockbuster trades. And essentially, they want to see what their young core is able to do. I mean, they're a squad that's good. They're a squad that's been great. Over the course of the season, they have a lot of young players. So if they can make a push with their young group, they don't want to sell too early in terms of what they have out here in the mix. So let me know what you guys think about all this stuff that's going on right now. A KD trade is imminent, and the Golden State Warriors are the heavy favorites to really bring him in, according to all these recent reports, according to all of these recent discussions. So let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Kevin Durant? And of course, if you guys are a part of a percentage that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, and you've spent the past 8 minutes here, and you haven't been a part of the 8,000 subscriber community we have on Warriors Digest at this point, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.